Welcome to an essential discussion on your well-being. As the holiday season is here, we're joined by Sherry Lee Franks, who's an obstetrician and gynecologist, to unravel the secrets of maintaining digestive and urinary tract health. Join us for an insightful discussion on how you can manage your overall well-being with Citro soda and healthy lifestyle choices for a carefree and enjoyable holiday.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you, and congratulations on your new space that you're going to be in next year, Doctor.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited.
So, Doctor, speak to us, unpack what is digestive health and urinary tract health?
So the gut and the urinary tracts are quite incredible because what happens is that the gut, the bladder and the genital tract are actually colonized by certain bacteria, both good and bad bacteria, and that is what we call a biome that exists in our body.
Yes.
And that biome exists in a very delicate balance throughout our lives, and it is actually established from the time that we are born and is affected by the things we put into our body, the environments that we live in, the stress that happen throughout our lives. So it exists very delicately. As soon as that balance is disrupted or destabilized in any way, that's when you have adverse things happening in your body. So not just the general feeling of being unwell, but it can affect your energy levels, it can affect your emotional states, it can affect your levels of concentration. And I think that is something that people are not always aware of, that we should actually be watching and trying to maintain that balance in our systems.
Absolutely. So I've heard of that being called the second brain. That's how important it is.
Yes, exactly right. And there's so much research at the moment that's being published that talks about the different things that balance your biome, that get your biome right.
Okay.
And advocates for people changing their lifestyle accordingly and just changing what they expose themselves to. And there's lots of research, I think, in pediatrics and in obstetrics as well, that talks about feeding your little one. As soon as your baby is born, that biome starts to happen, and you need to just be cognizant of that throughout someone's life and be ready for that in your own body, I guess.
So then speak to me about how do we have a healthy digestive system and how do we make sure that we don't get any UTIs?
UTIs are very common, especially in women.
And especially the festive season as well,
right?
The
festive season. So the festive season is all about indulgence. Everyone kind of just throws balance out the window and we are very indulgent. So that means we drink too little water, we drink too much alcohol, definitely an unbalanced diet with lots of rich, heavy foods, lots of acidic foods, and that all of that shifts not just your digestive tract, but it shifts your bladder tract as well.
Okay.
And that is what predisposes people to getting not just heartburn, for example, and gut health, but UTIs as well.
Yes.
Frequent intercourse as well, poor hygienic practices, all of those things predispose women or people in general to UTIs.
Okay.
And that's why the festive season is so tricky, because we're not really watching the water that we're drinking. We aren't eating what we would usually eat, we're not really being as cognizant of our practices as we usually would, and that all predisposes to a UTI. It's important, though, that people understand that a urinary tract infection is actually caused by a bacteria that colonizes or enters your urethra and your bladder, and that causes inflammation and infection. So it's not necessarily something transient that's just going to pass, but it is often something that would require a healthcare practitioner to intervene, and people must just be aware of that, especially in the festive season.
So when it comes to home remedies, I remember this being in my house with my mom, Citro soda, when it comes to UTIs and digestion issues. How do you bring that into your sense of well-being?
So Citro soda is really excellent with symptom control. It's really, really good with that. It's what we call an alkalinizer. It contains sodium bicarbonate, sodium citrate, tartaric acid, and citric acid, and it just reduces the amount of acid that's in your digestive tract and that's in your bladder. So people who experience heartburn, what we call dyspepsia, those people often find symptom relief with Citro soda. Symptoms of a UTI are usually burning urine, painful urination, and Citro soda helps with those symptoms, and that's why people swear by it. I know in my house, my mother was all about the Dutch remedies, the lemons and the harlemenses. She was like, it can fix anything. But the truth is, that's just for symptom control, and I would encourage people who have persistent heartburn, persistent low abdominal pain, persistent burning on urination to actually go seek medical help, even though the Citro soda is sorting their symptoms out. So it is really, and we still prescribe it with our antibiotics as healthcare professionals, because people do find incredible incredible relief by just bringing the pH of the urine and bringing the pH in the stomach a little bit down. So
okay, great.
Yeah.
So before you go, just 3 tips that you can give us on indulging and having fun, but finding balance. I know it makes no sense.
It's so tricky, but I think hygiene is really, really important. I think women forget.
Okay.
Sometimes wipe from the front to the back. Try to get at least 2 liters in, everybody, men and women. And as a gynecologist, I have to put this out there, please pee after you have sex. It's very important to void your bladder after you have sex. It just reduces your chance of getting a UTI.
Great, thank you so much. Thanks, doctor. Your journey to digestive and urinary tract health starts right here. So let's celebrate the festive season complete with comfort and relief. Try an over-the-counter product like Citro soda for your own healthy holiday digestive and urinary tract health this season. We'll see you after the break.